Hi, I'm Erica from AccuQuilt.
And I'm Edyta Sitar from Laundry Basket Quilts.
We are thrilled to have you here in our dream studio today, and with your wonderful rainbow bouquet wall hanging. How do you get such beautiful shapes for your appliques? Your colored arrangement and all, how do you cut that out and get that arranged?
Thank you for having me, first of all. But you know, I really enjoy making appliques, and my simple shape die, it's just so much fun. You have to try it. So that's how the die look.
Okay.
And what I like to do is, sometimes I prepare fabrics, I prepare batiks, and I like a nice selection of colors.
Okay.
I love beautiful, colorful appliques.
You have beautiful colors.
Thank you. So in this case, I just went to my stash and went and cut a bunch of pieces of batiks, and I usually cut them the size to fit my die.
Okay.
So 6 inches by almost 12 inches, and then just prepare them. The next step, what I would do is put my fusible webbing on it. And you can use variety of fusible webbings. The one that I like to use is lightweight heat and bound.
Okay.
And I use either the feather light or the regular lightweight heat and bound.
Perfect.
To get a nice selection of colors, you could go ahead and cut sheets of fabric like this.
Okay.
Just layer them, and I can cut as many as 4 with the fusible webbing on it.
Wonderful.
And just cut it, and then put them in the little buckets for yourself, and then anytime you need it, you already have something beautiful pre-cut.
Okay.
If I'm custom cutting and I want a nice selection of fabric for a quick project, I can also go ahead and rely on fabrics like this, where there is multiple colors
so
on
many
it.
different colors,
yes.
right.
Yeah. But with that, you guessing where the color gonna go, so you don't have as much control.
Okay.
I do like that colorful rainbow look to it, and I love my pieces to shade in different colors.
Right.
But there's even another way of cutting, and what I love about my die, how it's designed, that I can put a piece of green right over here. Notice those are my stems, my leaves, my buds, and my green will cover beautifully that area right here.
Perfect, sure.
And I can go ahead and think about this side of my die where I have berries, bird, and a little bit of a flower, and I can put a red right over that and cut it.
Oh, but
And let me show you how I cut. I just lay those, and you can do multiple layers or
Okay,
just
4 layers, you said?
yeah. I like
Perfect.
4 layers. I don't cut any more than that. I like to.
And it has the
place my-
fusible on it already?
Yes. Yep.
Perfect.
And what I'm gonna do is just make a quick cut. You can prepare background in the meantime, and I get the pieces ready.
Excellent. Well, and that's a die that fits in our Go Baby, but it would work in
Yes.
the Go or the Go Big as well.
Yes, I like the Go Baby. I take it with me all the time. The bigger cutter, I keep it nicely at home. I don't like to share that one. But my Go Baby, I like to share with my friends. So what you will do is take it over, and now look at how quickly all
You've
the
got
shapes.
all those beautiful
yes,
shapes.
yeah.
And
Look
you're
what
ready to
happened.
go.
Yes, you're ready to go. You can go ahead and start laying them out and start a design, a wonderful project where you would have your leaves and then another little leaf. I'm gonna push this one down a little bit, and look at when I lift this up, I have all my
the other parts, yes.
yeah, my little bird, and I can slip this right under there. In no time, you have a fun little design. And this is just using 2 colors.
Right.
So just imagine if we did not use 2 and little berries with it, we can also use more than 2 colors.
Oh, okay.
So what I would do is put my green over here,
Right.
and select yellows for my berries,
Sure.
pink for my little flowers, and maybe some blues and browns for the bird right here. And again, when I cut it, I get a greater selection of colors, and I can start
Like we have on your
building it
quilt.
up. Yes. Once my pieces are cut, I'm ready to lay my design out and fuse them in place and applique. And you can visit some of our videos, like the Go Butterfly
Right.
video, for more detailed information on applique. But just to go briefly over, once you have your pieces fused in place, you can go ahead and zigzag around the edges.
And that's with the invisible thread, right?
Yes, and a
Okay.
cotton thread in a bobbin.
Okay.
You can also make that zigzag with a cotton thread, just
Okay.
like the one right here. And you can either go ahead and complement or accent the design.
Perfect.
Or somebody's favorite,
My favorite, yes.
the blanket stitch, and that's my
But I
favorite
think you
too.
like it too.
Yeah, I love it. It gives so much to the design. So you can do the blanket stitch and emphasize all the shapes, and you can also use the raw edge applique as well as one of the stitches to secure everything in place. The one information that I want to draw your attention to it, notice our simple shape die has many different shapes. All of them are symmetrical.
Okay.
They don't have a left or right. Okay. The bird is the only one that depends how you place your little
okay.
square. Yes. So if you take your fabric and place it this way, the bird is going to look at
that
yeah,
way.
this way. So if you want the bird to look at the opposite, you need to put the paper up.
Oh,
And that way,
okay.
yes, after you cut, I have one bird cut right here. He's on a quilt, but I could quickly go ahead and have a
You have little kissing birds.
yes, have a little friend. So right here. So that's the only part that you need to pay attention,
Oh,
which
great.
direction you want
Okay.
your bird to look,
Perfect.
and cut it.
Now, how did you put together the border for this one?
Oh, the border was so much fun to do it. I use my die, the 2.5 inch one. I always cut my strips with that one. 2.5 inch, that's the very standard jelly roll kind
Right.
of cut. It's very fun
Right.
to use it.
Well,
So-
and I use that for binding too. Did you use that for your binding?
Yes, I love using it for binding. 2.5 inch, you fold it in half, and it is a perfect binding.
Great.
And you could have actually cut your colorful pieces, and then leftovers could have been a rainbow binding.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Once I have my strips cut, I'm gonna cut them into sections, just like this, little
Okay.
rectangles. And then I also, with the same die, cut strips in light and then section them to
Okay.
2.5. And I'm gonna place those on the top. And the next step is draw a line,
Okay.
just like this. And so with the line, I always start up from this point and go to the outside.
Okay.
So that way my machine doesn't push this into the bobbin. Once I finish sewing, all that we need to do is clip it.
Trim
So
that.
with the scissors, you would just trim it off.
Perfect.
Okay, and open it up. Push the seam allowance in opposite direction, and once
Oh,
we have
there you go.
Yeah. So we can use them anywhere in the quilt, and in this case, when I finish all my units, I line them up in a rainbow arrangement around the border.
Because it's a rainbow
Yeah.
wall hanging.
Exactly. And for the corners, I have a little square, and again, the corners were cut with a 2.5 inch
Oh, perfect.
through the center. Open it up, and that's how I got
That's
those
how you
pieces.
got that.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
You're welcome. I hope you're not going to only use your applique shapes for this quilt, but incorporate your simple shapes in many different quilts, maybe like the butterfly
Right,
one. And
right.
I feel with this die, you can get so creative. Just imagine when in the summer you go outside and pick up flowers
Right?
and start arranging them to
Arranging your
bouquets.
flowers.
Start cutting your flowers and start arranging them into beautiful quilts.
We hope to see your creations on our AccuQuilt.com community. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks again for joining us here in the studio, and remember, you can cut time so you could quilt more.
And better cuts make better quilts.